because we sure did. If you want to learn more about draft horses, then this is the video for you.
Hi, I'm Emma, and for my final project, I've decided to define the draft horse discipline. As a member of the draft horse community, I've noticed an extreme underrepresentation of draft horses in our discipline altogether. I've been showing draft horses for 10 years, and for my final project, I've decided to describe some of the cool classes we do and how awesome it is to show draft horses. But first, here's some history about draft horses. Since 200 BCE, draft horses were used to plow fields and plant crops. They then were used for transportation, whether it be horseback or pulling carriages. After cars and tractors were invented, usage of them in fields and on roads became less and less, but the people of Amish communities still tend to use drafts for plowing. The most popular draft horse breeds in America are the Belgian, the Percheron, the Clydesdale, and the Shire. In the draft horse discipline, we also consider Haflingers to be a type of quote-unquote draft pony, alongside other crosses like Hackney pony and Clydesdale crosses. We separate draft horses from draft ponies when we show.
Now, just like many other disciplines, there are two sides to the draft horse discipline.
Now, when you show draft horses, you're either going to show your horses in farm classes or fancy classes. When you show farm classes, your horses do not have to match appearance-wise. I actually show a sorrel and a roan together, and that's typically considered a big no-no when you show draft horses. Your horses don't have to be decorated, and I'll show you what decorated means in a minute. Your horses have normal shoes, meaning they don't have any little add-ons like heels or weights. People typically wear jeans or polos and don't dress up, and the biggest difference between the two is that when you show farm, you get to show in obstacle classes. Now, when you show fancy, you want your horses to match so they look more uniform because you're showing at a much higher level than you are in farm classes. You typically have Scotch bottom shoes on your horses because it gives your horses more action and helps them lift their feet up. You typically see people in very fancy clothes similar to what people wear in pleasure driving. And one of the biggest differences between farm and fancy is that when you show fancy, your horses are decorated. When you're decorating your horse, the first step you do is you braid the horse's foretop and tuck it to the side in either the halter or the bridle. Next, you braid your horse's tail, put it up in a bun, and put a bow on it. Finally, you mane roll your horse's mane, which is a specific kind of braid, and put flowers in the mane roll.
Finally, some similarities between farm and fancy is that besides obstacle classes, they all participate in the same classes, they all use draft breeds, and the judging system is the same. We have about a dozen classes that we participate in the draft horse world. I've divided all of these classes up into 3 different categories.
My first category is equipment classes. When you show equipment classes, you either show in a cart or a wagon. When you show cart, you either show with just one horse attached to the cart, or you have one horse in front of the original horse, which is called a tandem. When you show with the wagon, you either show with 2 horses, 3 horses, which is called a unicorn, 4 horses, or sometimes even 6 horses. Sometimes people get a little crazy and even put 8 to 10 horses on a wagon. The objective of every equipment class is to maintain an upright posture, the ability to command your horse at a walk, a trot, and during a reverse, and to be able to back up and pull forward safely. When you're a youth driver, the judges judge you on your ability alone, but if you're an adult driver, both you and your horse get judged. Horses typically get judged on conformation and willingness to listen. My next category of classes are ground classes. Ground classes are, you guessed it, when you show on the ground. They're only shown by youth and consist of 3 different classes. Judging, which is when you and your judge rank 4 horses' conformations from best to worst and compare notes. Whoever's notes are most accurate to the judges and whoever's ranking is the closest to the judges wins. The next class is decorating, in which competitors try to braid a foretop, braid a tail and put it up in a bun, and do a mane roll and put flowers in the mane roll in under 30 minutes. Whoever's work is the tightest and cleanest wins. The final ground class we have is showmanship, in which exhibitors walk, trot, turn around, walk trot back to the judge, and set up their horse. You want to make sure you're lined up with the judge when you're walking and trotting, and when you're setting up your horse, make sure all 4 feet are set up squarely underneath the horse's body. You want to always keep your eye on the judge, no matter what. Whoever does all of this the cleanest wins. For my final class category, we have obstacle classes. When you're showing obstacle classes, you're either navigating through a cone pattern on the ground or in a wagon. When you're on the ground, we call it loose line. Now you can either do loose line with a single horse, or you can do it with a team of horses. The final obstacle class is wagon obstacle, which is just like loose line except your horses are attached to a wagon. When you judge obstacle classes, you judge everybody based off of how many cones / other obstacles they touch. Whoever has the least amount of faults wins. Overall, I hope everyone watching learned something new about draft horses in the classes we show. Showing draft horses has brought me so much joy over the past decade, so I'm thankful I got to talk about it for my final project.
And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed.